Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story this evening, the changing medical marijuana industry in Florida and here on the Suncoast.
With voters overwhelmingly approving a constitutional amendment, medical marijuana will become available to hundreds of thousands of patients. But major details still need to be worked out about how the industry will expand. The expansion will be a big boost for businesses already growing, processing, and distributing cannabis in Florida, and it will likely spur even more competition for the highly sought-after dispensing organization licenses. Right now, it is limited to a handful of businesses chosen by state health officials last year. A company called Trulieve opened a dispensary in Tallahassee in July and plans to open a location in Bradenton. The CEO hopes the regulatory details can be worked out quickly.
Everyone's focus right now is making sure that there is implementation to ensure that those conditions that were listed in the amendment are given full access to medical cannabis in the state of Florida.
The constitutional changes that legalize marijuana as a treatment option for patients with conditions including post-traumatic stress disorder, cancer, AIDS, and Parkinson's disease.
Now that Amendment 2 has been approved, some governments here on the Suncoast are creating ordinances to prepare for marijuana dispensaries. The city of Northport has been looking into this now for months. ABC 7's Christopher Bradley shows us what they're doing to prepare.
In anticipation of medical marijuana businesses moving into the area, city officials have drafted an ordinance setting strict rules for those new businesses. At Abe's Donut Shop in Northport, regulars sit and chew the fat on local issues. Today's topic, medical marijuana.
I think it's great, and depending upon where they put it, we want to keep it away from the kids. We understand that.
Jerry Manlin supports it, but he wants to make sure there are rules to keep it regulated.
Kind of just establishing what areas of the city we want to see them in. We've put them in commercial zoning districts.
Nicole Galehouse is a city planner. For several months, she's been drafting rules for an ordinance. This week, she delivered her plan to city commissioners, the same commissioners that will be leaving office at the end of the month.
We've limited the number of the facilities, kind of start slow, and we can always expand if we want to in the future.
One of the rules states that dispensaries must be located on different sides of the city to ensure ease of access for all residents. To better their understanding, Galehouse and her team went to a dispensary in Tampa.
It's a very interesting place. You wouldn't really know it was there or what it was once you see it. Very spa-like.
According to Galehouse, the law states that dispensaries cannot have marijuana plants on the property. They would be dealing more with low THC oils and lotions, not smoking. Manlin knows people who have benefited from medical marijuana.
Well, I know somebody. What is little Stevie? He has MS. It's been so he used to smoke it. He smokes it for years.
Now, this really is only the first reading of this ordinance. The second reading will take place once the new commissioners have been seated, and those commissioners could have their own ideas. In Northport, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. Several other governments on the Suncoast are taking some steps to implement regulations on medical marijuana. The Venice City Council agreed to implement a moratorium, which means there can be no cannabis cultivation, production, or dispensaries for at least a year. Manatee County commissioners will hold public hearings on a proposal for a 6-month moratorium. Sarasota city leaders have approved a 9-month moratorium to come up with ordinances, and the Longboat Key Town Commission will vote soon on a 12-month moratorium for those dispensaries.
New details tonight about the Sarasota man accused of shooting and killing an 18-year-old girl in Bradenton. 21-year-old Devin Freeman was arrested in Sarasota last night in the murder of Mariah Good. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies say Freeman fired multiple shots at a vehicle on 4th Street East in Bradenton Sunday afternoon. Good was in the passenger seat of the vehicle and was hit, but deputies say they do not think Freeman was trying to shoot Good. They say Freeman was aiming for the person Good was with in the vehicle.
The person that the victim was with said something to the suspect, and moments later shots were fired into the vehicle, but they didn't strike the person, obviously, that the victim was with. They only struck the victim.
Good was taken to Manatee Memorial Hospital, where she later died. Sheriff's deputies say Freeman is in a wheelchair as a result of a motorcycle accident. He's now been charged with second-degree murder.
Some Sarasota police officers spent the day scrolling through a popular classified adult advertising website. And unlike most SPD operations, this one was not to make an arrest. The department's street crimes unit is making cold calls to women who've placed ads on Backpage. Police believe many of these women may be involved in prostitution or have been forced into sex trafficking. But instead of taking the women to jail, officers are trying to get them help. As a part of their outreach, police have teamed up with the local nonprofit Selah Freedom.
They're all going to have different stories. I think once you're actually dealing with them and talking to them and kind of trying to get on their level and understand some of the things that they've been through, it kind of puts it into perspective, and we really are trying to help them and not, put criminal cases on them and keep them in the court system.
This is the third time the police department has done the initiative, and they say they already have success stories.
And now for a check on our forecast, let's head over to Josh, who is in for Bob this evening.
Okay, thanks so much, Haley and Scott. We are looking at clear skies. Our radar is very quiet. Had a cold front that came down earlier today. That's moved to the south, and behind it, drier air, high pressure taking control, and that means sunny skies and clear conditions. Our dew point is sitting at 52 degrees, the humidity at 38%, northerly winds at 8 miles per hour. And that's going to be the case throughout the forecast, as we're going to have that northerly and then northeasterly wind about 5 to 10 miles per hour as we go through the evening hours tonight and into tomorrow. But shaping up to be a very nice weekend. Cold front now to our south, high pressure in control now, and we have that dry air aloft that's starting to settle in. You can see it here in the tan color coming over the state of Florida. And, well, what was our weekend look like? It's looking like to be a very nice one, as we're going to have mostly sunny skies, but we could have a few showers as we get into mid next week. Guys?
Thank you, Josh. President Obama and Donald Trump said some very unflattering things about each other during the election campaign, but today they sat together in the Oval Office talking about the presidential transition. ABC's Lana Zach has more on this historic meeting.
Tonight, more protests. After huge demonstrations across the country last night, tens of thousands of people marching through the streets, chanting, burning effigies, protesting the election of Donald Trump.
How could he even get that far?
We're very scared of what's going to happen to the LGBT community, to women, to people of color. We're terrified.
In Oakland, California, protesters smashed windows and started fires, forcing police to respond with tear gas. Elsewhere, the rallies remained peaceful. From beneath the huge glowing letters of Trump Tower in Chicago to outside the president-elect's home in Manhattan and his future home on Pennsylvania Avenue. An emotional reflection of the raw divisions that remain after a bitterly fought presidential race. Some demonstrators saying while they realize this won't change the outcome, from the ballot box and now to the streets, they are proudly exercising their rights.
They should be able to express themselves. It's a good way. If our vote didn't count exactly the way we wanted to.
What was so powerful about this was that we were able to stand together.
Meanwhile, authorities are working to protect the president-elect's properties. Outside of the new Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C., crews spent today washing off graffiti and installing these barriers.
And here in New York, the FAA has implemented a no-fly zone within a 2-mile radius of Trump Tower, up to 3,000 feet, and that will be in place until after Inauguration Day. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
Thank you, Marcy. Although unfortunately that was the wrong story. This story was supposed to be about the meeting between President Obama and Donald Trump. We'll try to bring you that story later in the newscast.
Still to come tonight in your Suncoast News, a seatbelt problem with Volvo vehicles. Which ones are being recalled by the giant automaker?
And ABC 7's Josh Stone will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, coming up in Health Smart, another reason why you may want to give kids milk, how not getting enough vitamin D could be harmful.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Types of timber, cuts of meat, cooking times, temperatures, rubs, seasonings, sauces. You name it, they know it. That's what makes them who they are, Sonny's Pitmasters, and proud of it. Come get some baby back ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. On their own or paired with favorites like jalapeno cheddar hot links or pulled or sliced pork plus 2 sides and bread. Sonny's Barbecue, local Pitmasters since '68.
Volvo is recalling about 74,000 cars and SUVs because the front passenger seatbelt may not be able to hold people in a crash. That recall covers certain vehicles from the 2016 and 17 model years. According to government documents, a buckle stud can come loose, allowing it to separate from a bracket. And if that happens, the belt may not hold the front passenger in a crash. No injuries have been reported yet. Dealers will replace the buckle for free starting December 12th.
And ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now, and he's here to report that these amazing returns on Wall Street continue.
Amazing is the right word, Haley. You're absolutely right. And just to remind people, last Friday, which seems like ages ago, last Friday, the S&P 500 was down for the 9th consecutive day. Well, what have we done this week? In 4 days, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up by 920 points, up all 4 days. And again, let's keep this in perspective. The market was up 443 points on Monday and Tuesday on the belief that Hillary Clinton would be the next president-elect. So what happened then? Well, we're up 477 points, that on Wednesday and Thursday. Yes, Donald Trump, in fact, is the president-elect. So no matter how you slice it, please make sense out of it. I'm not sure I can. But the bottom line is 920 points, an all-time record close. It just doesn't get better, folks. Let's take a look at the final numbers. There you see the Dow up by 219 points, almost 1.2%, closing at 18,807.88 on very heavy volume of 966 million shares. The NASDAQ actually lower for the day. Tech stocks were down. NASDAQ down 42 points, 0.8% at 5,208.80. Also on heavy volume of 1,909 million shares. And the S&P up not sharply like the Dow, but up 0.2%, 4.25 points at 2,167.48. Well, I'm sure you've realized that many of the retailers, the brick and mortar retailers, have been struggling lately, but that's not the case with Kohl's. Shares of Kohl's jumped by 11.5% today, after the company said its quarterly sales and earnings came in well ahead of Wall Street estimates. Their earnings per share were 80 cents. Wall Street had been looking for 70 cents, and the company said it expects a very strong fourth quarter. Back to school sales were very, very good, and the company said they're doing a very good job of managing their inventory. So Haley and Scott, I think you know that the retailers indeed have been struggling, but today it looks like everything's going up.
That's good, especially heading into holiday shopping.
Yeah. And you say, Richard, you have a heads up for tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to remind our viewers that being Veterans Day, all the banks are closed tomorrow, and I know many people go to the bank on Friday. The banks will be open Saturday, but sorry, the banks, in fact, are closed all day tomorrow.
A good reminder to thank a veteran for their service.
Absolutely. Richard, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.
Let's get checking our weather now. Josh Stone in for Bob tonight. Josh, really nice day today.
Beautiful day. I mean, you can't get any better than this with low 80s, and that's where we should be at this time of the year, but clear skies, and that's going to be the trend as we go through the next several days. Right now we have north to northeasterly wind. We had a cold front that came by earlier this afternoon, and now that has moved to the south, but high pressure settling in behind the cold front, and that's going to usher in dry air aloft, capping out the atmosphere, giving us sunny skies in our forecast. So nothing to show you here on the radar as far as the sun coast, everything looking very quiet. On top of the state of Florida right now, just clear skies thanks to that dry air aloft. Right now it's gorgeous outside, 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies, dew point at 52. And notice the wind north at 8 miles per hour. And that's going to be the case throughout tonight, tomorrow, and the next few days as we're going to have that north-northeasterly wind as that area of high pressure to the north settles in. So right now it's 64 here in Jacksonville. It's 80 in Sarasota, 79 in Key West, but beautiful conditions up and down the Sunshine State at this time. 78 here in Venice, 76 in Inglewood, 80 in Lake Placid, but things will cool as we go through the evening hours. We're talking about some lows dropping down into the upper 50s if you're inland. So it's going to be a natural air conditioning as we go through this evening. But we climb back up into the upper 70s, lower 80s for tomorrow, which is Veterans Day. And once again, mostly sunny skies. And you can see the general flow of the arrows here coming down from the north around this area of high pressure that's settling in. And this tan color here, this is all dry air aloft. And when you have dry air aloft, that just clears out the skies, and we're going to enjoy plenty of sunshine in this forecast for the next several days. All right, let's take a look at the boating forecast. Easterly winds becoming west tomorrow at 5 to 10 knots with 2 feet for the seas. Light chop in the bays and inland waterways. 79 degrees at the beach. 75 degrees also is the water temperature right now. UV index at 7. Your tides tonight, high tide will be at 9:13 p.m. and the high tide for tomorrow morning will be at 9:53 a.m. For tonight, our low drops down to 60, but like I said, some areas inland will be a little bit cooler than that. We're talking about temperatures in the 50s for Veterans Day tomorrow, high of 81, and mostly sunny skies. How about the rest of your forecast and your upcoming weekend? Looking brilliant, literally, mostly sunny skies, upper 70s. And then as we get into next week, we're talking about Tuesday and Wednesday, there's going to be a cold front that comes in, and that could stir up a few showers around the sun coast. We'll call for a 30% chance of shower activity. I think most of those showers will probably be to the south. Maybe if you live in Charlotte County, you'll see a little bit more shower activity on Tuesday, and then those should start to die out as we get into Wednesday. But all in all, guys, I mean, looking for the next several days, this is just wonderful weather for this time of the year. Scott?
All right, Josh, thank you. In Suncoast Traffic Watch right now, there's a crash on I-75. This is the southbound lanes right near the University Parkway exit. It is backing up traffic. You can see north of the exit there. It's all red into Manatee County, so expect some slowdowns southbound on I-75 tonight. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, many women feel devastated after experiencing a miscarriage. Now, new research out of Imperial College London finds many who suffer one fulfill the criteria for post-traumatic stress disorder. The researchers noted the results of the study of 113 women who had experienced early pregnancy loss surprised them. The researchers found 38% of those women met the criteria for PTSD 3 months after their loss. PTSD often includes flashbacks, nightmares, or intrusive thoughts and can be characterized by anger, depression, or insomnia. Kids who don't get enough vitamin D may be at an increased risk for asthma. That's according to a study by the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. With children with vitamin D insufficiency were 1.35 times more likely to have asthma compared with children with adequate levels of vitamin D. The exact reason is not known, but it's thought that vitamin D increases levels of inflammation in the body. It's also possible that vitamin D improves people's response to drugs that treat asthma. Spending less time sitting down and more time doing light activities like just a stroll around the office may help people maintain their weight loss. That's according to a study by the Colorado School of Public Health of people who had lost at least 30 pounds. The study found those people who kept off the weight were more active, both the normal weight and overweight participants. On average, they walked more than 12,000 steps a day, compared with about 9,000 for normal weight participants. They also spent about 40 minutes a day doing some type of moderate to vigorous physical activity. Coming up, a soybean spill on the Mississippi train tracks. Crews now left cleaning up this mess while investigators try to figure out what caused it. And the perfect spruce is chopped down and loaded up, headed to the Big Apple, this year's Rockefeller Center tree. We'll take a look coming up next.
The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Enjoy fine wine, craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 15th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival, Saturday, November 12th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste hundreds of wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. Watch live cooking demonstrations from local chefs and take part in a silent auction to bid on creative prize packages that will delight any foodie or wine connoisseur. The event will feature live music by Kettle of Fish. There's free parking, and all proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. Don't miss this year's Suncoast Food and Wine Festival, Saturday, November 12th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
The official salon of ABC7.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dottoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
A big cleanup is ahead after a train carrying soybeans derails in Mississippi. The train derailed about 55 miles south of Memphis this morning, spilling its cargo of soybeans. About 18 train cars derailed, but no one was hurt. A representative for Canadian National Railway said there's a big job ahead with removing the derailed cars, repairing the damaged track, and then cleaning up all that soybean. New developments tonight involving a deadly tram derailment in Great Britain. The driver of that tram was arrested and released on bail. Police are not releasing his name yet, but the 42-year-old is being charged with manslaughter. The tram came off the rails while rounding a tight curve on yesterday. 7 people are now dead. More than 50 others were hurt. The investigation is ongoing.
Some divers are getting a first look at an old shipwreck. The J.S. Seaverns freighter sunk in Lake Superior in 1884, making it 130 years old. All of its estimated 60 passengers and crew members survived. Old charts and historical accounts were used to narrow in its location. It was eventually found by sonar. The freighter is surprisingly well preserved, as you can see in this video. In fact, it went down so gently, dishes are still stacked on tables and shelves. Wow, look at that. The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree has started its journey from upstate New York to Manhattan. The 90-foot-tall Norway spruce was cut down this morning and loaded onto a truck. The spruce will make the 140-mile trip to Manhattan and is expected to arrive on Saturday. The tree's 50,000 lights will be switched on during a live television broadcast on November 30th. Although I know some people already have up their trees.
Really?
I've seen some on Facebook, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's early.
I know. They're probably fake trees because I haven't seen any real trees for
Well,
sale.
it would never last.
Yeah, it would never last,
Yeah.
but yeah. So people are getting on
That's a
early.
big one there.
That is a huge one. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, the steady growth in Manatee County.
School officials now have a new design for a new high school plan for Parrish. What it includes coming up next.
It's the Crystal Classic International Sand Sculpting Festival on Siesta Beach, November 11th through 15th, with 24 of the world's best sand sculptors. Bring the family for new hands-on kids activities, live music, food, sand sculpting lessons, and more. See SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com for details.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts. And 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass & Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass & Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass & Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Sometimes, when the course is difficult and you might take a step where you could fall, it's important to trust and ask for help. That's one of the most important things we learned at Tidewell's Teen Grief Retreat. On your grief journey, there are going to be difficult parts, but you have to trust in yourself and your support systems and know there are people around who will help you make it through. Tidewell HOSPICE. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Come see the Crystal Classic International Sand Sculpting Festival November 11th through 15th on Siesta Beach. Check out the Crystal Classic Party Tent, produced by Siesta Key Chamber of Commerce and Moat Marine. Details including remote parking via SCAD. Visit SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com.